All right, I got a question from Robin. How do I stay open to dating when people say that they want one thing and they want the same thing and then they just ghost? I know what it means to do the work and all the things, but how do you stay open and not get burnt out dating? Listen, I hear you. In a space of dating where it feels like people are not often honest, it really is what we make their behaviors about. If someone misleads us on what they want and they ghost us, what can often happen is we make that mean something about ourselves. So the first thing is you gotta take charge of the circumstances and make sure that what you make ghosting mean isn't anything about you, but actually about their character. Because really that's what it is. I really would invite that we're actually exploring what green flags and red flags are, being able to identify them just in people's profiles. If people put minimal effort into their profiles, then they're probably not that interested in putting much effort into anything else. I know that's an assumption, but it's a pretty safe assumption. So how do you stay open? Well, if you can trust that this person ghosting you is actually in service of you, which is not minimizing the pain of someone ghosting, like it's the worst behavior, it has no integrity. But if I can actually say, okay, thank you for filtering out for me. Like when someone ghosts you, it's someone who's saving you from a life of mediocrity. First off, they can't even handle having a conversation of closing a relationship. Like who would want them in your life anyways? Someone breaking up with you for themselves, that's amazing. You don't have to break up with them in the future, which is what was gonna have to happen, or they were gonna betray you. So might as well get rid of them early. Second part is, look at how you date. For a lot of us, dating apps are actually exhausting. Can we trust that exhaustion? Can we actually sit with that might not be actually aligned for us? That it's not bringing us life? We're not feeling joy in the swipe culture? Like actually get out into the world, put down your phone, and start practicing meeting people out in the world. The produce section I hear is a hot spot to meet people, especially over avocados. Mark, what do you think we need to do now to ensure a good future for humanity? Shit, this is no small question. Hey, what could we do now to save us from all the effed up systems and actually free us and liberate us from all the division that's going on? There is actually a way through this, and it is that we have to deeply get to know ourselves again. We have to get back into a relationship with the earth. Part of the journey of actually healing with each other and healing the planet is actually starting to witness the pain in one another. It's actually through relationship, through healing ourselves and participating and sharing unconditional love with other people that we start to heal families and communities and then culture and then so on. We have to unify from this division because, we're all fighting about all these things while the puppet strings are being pulled above us. So how do we actually move forward as humanity? We have to stand for truth. We have to stand up against the people who are exploiting us. We have to stand up against policies that don't make sense and are actually dehumanizing. I think the hard part is that the idea of a good future for humanity is that it does require tension. It requires painful moments and painful experiences. Just like in service of a really beautiful relationship with another person, there's going to be struggle. There's going to be conflict. And I think we're in the midst of that. We're in a mass awakening. I've never seen more people ask questions about why we do what we do. Why is our food poisoned? Why were we taught that relationships are a place where we shouldn't be our full selves? Why can't we actually handle dialogue and conflict? Why do we want to cancel people who have opposing opinions? Like we're all sitting in this world of like, I'm left wing and I'm right wing. And it's like, we're all talking about this shit. Well, they're still presenting poor options of any wing. It's all just an illusion. So it's like, how do we actually step out of the illusion? Well, in order to do that, we have to look at our own lives and the ways that we're living in illusions ourselves. Who are we really? What do we really want from this life? How do we want to actually show up to life? If you're not in integrity with your values and who you want to be in this world, then how do you even expect a world to be filled with integrity? Hey, Mark, I'm wondering, how do you actually accept and release unavailable love? This is a question that most people have. How do you actually let go of someone who doesn't want to choose you, who's not available to you? Well, the first is the recognition that you're probably completing a lifelong mission, which is to finally stop choosing people who don't want to choose you, who are ambivalent about you. So we can have compassion for why we do that. Usually it's because of our childhood where maybe we weren't attended to, we weren't a priority, maybe our parents weren't around, maybe a parent left. It doesn't really matter what got us to a state of being attracted to unavailability or choosing it. It's recognizing that a pattern is inviting you to change. You keep choosing this because it's saying stop choosing me. You need to change how you're orienting to people not changing. So how do you let go? Well, you grieve the fact that somewhere in your life you learned that ambivalence was something you should tolerate. You learned that someone not choosing you fully was something that was normalized in your experience. So you have to both grieve it. It's not just about like, why can't I get over these people that don't choose me? How could you not be attracted to people like that when that's what you were taught? That's a normal response to the experiences that you've had. So we don't want to shame it. We just want to now acknowledge it and say, I'm done with that. So that's the acceptance part, is I actually can no longer consent to being in this pattern. That's the first. Now, how do you release it? Well, if you no longer consent to being in the pattern, you no longer want to live in the suffering that's familiar, you want to actually experience trust in yourself, then you need to let it go. You need to release it. You release it by literally saying, I can't do this anymore, maybe blocking them, maybe just saying to them, this is no longer a pattern that I'm interested in participating in. This is what availability looks like for me. If you're not available, then I'm not ready to entertain it. Also, you have to look at your own unavailability, because at the basis of choosing unavailable people is just a projection of your own unavailability. If you were truly available, you wouldn't tolerate unavailability. So this is about now looking at how do you step towards having availability in love. And it is by making choices that say, well, clearly this is evidence that I believe that I am worthy of someone choosing me and being present for me because I do the same.